Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you Sunday, May the 24th, the year 2020. Let's talk trading. Weekly open and gap. Now, if you're just here for the first time, just remember these videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Trading is extremely risky. You can lose all of your money. If you need trading, investment, or financial advice, seek the advice of an accredited financial professional. And when you're trading, always have your risk management in place for each and every trade. And also, you have to have your brain management in place. No FOMO, no ROMO, no ROGO. Okay, for the weekly open and gap, you can see here most of the gaps have filled. We still have two pairs that haven't filled. And you can see the spreads have pretty much normalized, so you can get your trade on. And right now the pound is up 11 pips over the open. It's below the mid dot right there. And you can see it's definitely down for the month and down for the year. We're putting in the opening range for the week today. You can see how far we're off of the opening range for the month. And this is the last week of trading for this month. I hope everybody's having a good month so far. As you can see, we touched the low of the monthly inside bar right there. And looks like we bounced. Actually, let's see, did we penetrate it? Actually, it looks like it penetrated it by about 4 points. And then came right back up. Lots of inside bars this month. For the day, you see we've got some inside bar action here. So definitely take a look at that if you like inside bars. Not much range so far. It's a holiday weekend here in the USA. It's Memorial Day tomorrow. And the buy zone, as you can see here, we had the pivot up here. So we actually, let's see, what did we gap on the pound? We gapped down. So since we gapped down, we wanted to definitely take the long trigger here. So heading towards that pivot. If you took it, you could have already had a couple pips. Look like you might get a second chance, but try not to go against the H1 candle color. It's usually not, it usually doesn't end well when you do that. And the range is too short for the rat. As far as the pivots go, you can see there's the daily pivot, and our weekly pivot is at 121.05. That doesn't look right. I can't tell where that pivot line is because it seems like we're taking it out right now. Now let's look over here. Here's the daily. We haven't hit the daily, but we have hit the weekly pivot. As you can see here, we don't have a line showing that it's been missed. So we took out today's weekly pivot. Wick zones, we started in the wick zone and we already popped out. Looks like we're heading back towards it at the moment. On the wall mall method, there's a short trade right there for this hour. And looks like you might be picking up pips right now. And once again, looking here at the sweet spot line, simple price action trading, candle color at the line. It doesn't get any simpler than that. At least I don't think so. And looking at the map, you can see we put in a daily high. We went across the previous week's midpoint a couple of times. Now we're coming back through it. And so it looks like the next stop would be the current. Is that daily or weekly? That's really hard to see. It's like it's the weekly midpoint from last week right here. Oh no, that's the current week midpoint right here. So let's see if we hit that midpoint. So far today, 3 hours, so we've had an 8, a 7. We actually had a 20 pip range bar here. opening, but that's probably mainly that open gap and the spreads were ridiculous. So there wasn't a trade on the pound there. And then looking at an old Dragon screen that's been updated, um, playing the 15-minute time frame, and just basically trading once again with the candle colors. Coming off a two ball here, as you can see, price is failing to make higher highs. So if it's not making higher highs, then it must be going down. And as you can see here, there was a nice short to be had. And actually, technically, that was a holo short because this is the highest open so far today. And that's one thing about the highest open and lowest open. Um, Once they're established, they're reversal trades because it's already put in a high for the day. Now, sometimes you'll get a second test and you'll get a second holo trade from a high that was put in, hours ago. Um, but the thing about the holo trade is it's definitely a reversal trade. And when you get in, you're getting in with the candle color. So once again, it's one of my favorites. And the nice thing about the holo trade is it works across all the different time frames, including the monthly. If you see there's a highest monthly open or a lowest monthly open, you could definitely go in and look for some pips there. Don't have holo on. Actually, I don't think I have holo on any of these screens. So I might have to put one up. Oh, let me think. Oh, there was somebody was asking me about an EA. I had mentioned about the Auto Avery Portfolio Manager. Boys and girls and non-binary traders, I never ever release any EAs. I don't even like to write them, but I did write one because when I moved from TradeStation over to MT4, I wanted to have my portfolio manager. And all it does is it basically closes out all trades once a certain profit level's reached. But there's so many things that can go wrong with the EA. It's just too dangerous, and I don't want to see anybody get hurt because, if you typed in something wrong or there was some bug in the code that I haven't come across in the decade or more that since I've written it, it's possible that something could cause you to lose, and I don't want to be responsible for it. So I just rather not give out trading auto trading code at all. Um, I give you guys horizontal lines, and I give you some squigglies too. Um, in fact, I've been dusting off some old indicators um, because somebody was getting into the dragon what he did. So I started looking at some of the stuff, and it's still viable. And in fact, I'll probably next month I'm thinking about maybe getting back into and showing everybody about the dragon, how he adapted basically the dynamic support and resistance indicators, um, which are, let's see, where is it? Got to be here somewhere. Yeah, TRO dynamic support resistance. So it's a little formula that I wrote. And, some people say it repaints. Well, it doesn't repaint, it updates in real time. Some people just don't know what they're talking about. But that's what these red diamonds and blue diamonds are. That's the dynamic support, that's dynamic resistance. And you can see here how when you put in a two ball here or one ball, it just paints across. And so in this particular chart, I believe the dynamic SR is set for 5 periods, but you can change it to 13 and that gives you a two ball. Is you see how those dots changed to this level here? So what this is telling you is this used to be a two ball, but when it pushed up, then it set it back and became a one ball. And that's how the semaphore indicator works. And so right here, you see we put in a one ball at the 13 level right here, but it hasn't moved dynamic support up yet. So this bar would probably have to close before the support will come up to hit it. And that's what I mean by dynamic. So if you were in that trade, even though you see the ball's indicating a breakout. And until you get a dot, it says there's no resistance. But that's, you know, it doesn't mean that price won't go through it. Doesn't mean that price is going to reverse. It's just based on the formula. That's what it's telling you. And you just have to learn to trade. In fact, I stumbled across, actually, I didn't stumble across um, some trading magazine, that technical analysis, stocks, and whatever. I forget what it's called, but they sent me I guess a complimentary copy or they sent me a copy hoping I would subscribe to it. But I was reading an article in there about a trader, and it's funny how he was saying of some of the things that I've been saying. It's just like, okay, that's confirmation. He talks about being focused and concentrated. Basically, he likes to trade. I think he said somewhere between 4 and 8 stocks with like a dead max of like maybe 10 or 12. And he was saying how he likes to, really, dive into one method and master that method, which is something that, I tell people all the time. Um, but then you say, well, why do I have so many methods? It's because with all the tens of thousands of hours of chart time, screen time I have, if I see something, then I want to see if there's an edge to it. Some things have edges and some things don't. And that's just what I do. It's just, in fact, I wrote a couple of new indicators this weekend because I was doing some more analysis, and I go, wait a minute, I need an indicator for that. So I'll probably show them sometime this coming week, but they're still in test mode and getting some of the bugs worked out. But one of the things I'll just let you notice is that if you look at the last 3 balls here, it's telling you something. So for example, here we've got the daily low down here. So this is a 2. Then you've got the daily high. That's a 2. Now you've got the current, the most recent bar. That's a 1. So you got 2, 2, 1. What is that telling you? Well, it's telling you that if this is the most recent and it pushed down here, now it's coming back to you. So what you want to do is you want to look for either a 1 ball, 2 ball, or 3 ball signaling a trade in the opposite direction. Now, since this is a 2 ball, it kind of gets counteracted by this 2 ball. So if this was a 2-1-1, you'd probably look to go long, or if it was a 3-2-1, you'd look to go long. But a 2-2, and then a 1 here. If anything, you want to look to go short unless this pushes up and becomes a 2 over here, or possibly a 3. And that's just one way. So if you look back, you can see a 3, then a 1, then a 1. So since this is a 3 and this put in a 1, you look to go long. And that's just something that I've observed. And I'm working on basically a little playbook just based on the last 3 dots. And for those who like the 3-level ZZ indicator, it's something that you might want to work on for yourselves. So maybe when I get that playbook done, I might show you guys and gals and non-binaries what I've been working on here. So it's Memorial Day tomorrow. Make sure you take some time and think about those who did what they had to do so we could be here. And I hope you have a safe holiday weekend. And I hope you're going to have a profitable week and end the month with a profitable month. And as you trade, always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. And if this is your first time here, come down, hit subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell so you can be notified when I put out another trading video. So for now, TheRumpledOne signing off.